right. Greetings, everyone. Welcome to the Dr. Julius Nyeri CBPM UNIA-ACL Division 421 Atlanta, Georgia mass meeting. Today is August 15, 2022. It's 5:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Did I say it was the 15th? I didn't mean to say that. If I did, it's the 14th. Okay. Today is our volume 11, issue 16 of our Whirlwind newsletter. The topic is Declaration of Rights of the Negro Peoples of the World. We're going to read from the declaration. I will be needing volunteers because there's a lot of declarations to read. So we can do like 10 and pass it off back and forth. Okay, we're gonna start with the pledge to the red, black, and green. All right, everyone repeat after me. I commit my body, mind, and spirit.
I commit my body, mind, and spirit
To the protection, defense, and security.
To the protection,
defense, and security.
Of the red, black, and green.
Of the red, black, and green.
I dedicate my life.
I dedicate my life
to the redemption of Mother Africa.
To the redemption of Mother Africa.
And the liberation of us scattered Black children.
And the liberation
of us scattered Black children.
I accept for myself and my descendants.
I accept for myself and my descendants.
The teachings of universal African nationalism.
The teachings of universal African nationalism.
And promise that our children will be instilled.
And promise that our children will be instilled.
With the purpose and knowledge of themselves as African people.
With the purpose and knowledge of African people.
In order that the cause of our struggle.
In order that the cause of our struggle.
Will neither falter nor fail.
Will neither falter nor fail.
Until our Black people are free and united.
Until all Black people are free and united.
Through one God.
Through one God.
One aim.
One aim.
And one destiny.
One
destiny.
All right, race first.
Race first.
Race first.
All right, let me go over our guidelines. The meeting is broken into two halves. The first half, we focus on the topic. Today is the Declaration of Rights of the Negro Peoples of the World. We read that, and then everyone will get a chance to ask questions or give comments. And then we'll move on to member share. Then everyone get 3 to 4 minutes to share on the topic of their choice. Please be considerate and not go over the time. To ensure we can hear our callers, can you please keep your phone on mute? It's a lot of noise in the background, and other people won't be able to hear if you have background noise going. So everybody check their phone, put it on mute, please. Have a right now and see who much Can we get the lines muted that has noise?
I got you.
Okay, thank you. All right. There will be people on this call with different ideas and religions and opinions than your own. It's okay to disagree, but we must not become disrespectful and nasty towards one another. And I kind of wanted to talk about that today before I move on, because I never elaborated on what I mean by that. And I kind of caught some things in the last meeting. I know it wasn't the UNIA, it was CBPM. And I think like when we speaking to each other and we have a disagreement or we debating about something, then I think we should just remember to talk to each other and not down on each other. Nobody should be feeling like that they're stupid or anything like that for what they believe in or how they feel. You know, there's certain ways that you can, how you word what you say to someone. Like you know, as if they stupid for feeling how they feel. And that's not the case, because you haven't always known what you know. So you had to learn what you needed to learn, and that don't make you stupid. You just in the process where you learning what's going on. Stupid is when you're not trying to fix yourself. And everybody that's on this call is on this call because they know that we have some things that we need to fix about ourselves and that we need to fix in the community. And then also watch how you handle one another, especially you know, I don't like the gender war thing. So be sure that you're not nasty in how we address each other. You know what I'm saying? We brothers and sisters, and we don't need to address each other in words that can be that the white man uses. For instance, I'm gonna go ahead and say it, Shaniqua. So I didn't catch that the last time that one of the brothers on here was calling sisters Shaniqua. You know what I'm saying? I know some Shaniquas and they're good sisters. And there's nobody to talk down on. They're not stupid, they're not dumb. And they've done some good things with their life. So we're not gonna address each other like the cracker address us. We're gonna address each other with respect. I don't care how you feel about one another. We talk to each other, not down. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Ladies,
I agree.
Oh shit.
Okay. All right, sorry y'all. You know, that just bothered me. You know what I'm saying? I'm all for disagreeing, but we can't do that to each other. Okay. Ladies, do not give out your personal number during the calls. Instead, give out your your business number or your email or something like that, or social media. Do not use the N-word during the call. Be mindful of unnecessary using and overusage of curse words. There are children that tune in. I'm gonna pass it to President John so he can do roll call.
Thank you, First Lady, Vice President, Sister Tania. And yeah, I second everything that you said. For those that weren't on there was a CVPM call last week, and I talked to President Ross. That's something that we have to have structure. You know, I know that we are a loving organization, and we, you know, give everyone a voice and allow everyone to speak. But there has to be, as Sister Tania is saying, a level of respect. So one thing we have to understand here in the UNIA, when we make that pledge, you know, when we make that pledge, this becomes an official sacred meeting, you know, so disrespect will not be tolerated in a UNIA meeting. We have to, you know, respect the order of the association, respect the legacy, you know, and abide by the rules and regulations, and definitely show respect at all times. So I agree with what Sister Tania was saying. Okay, so roll call. I was trying to pull up the Zoom, the conference line. I don't know if there's anybody on there. I'll check that real quick. On the conference line, we have UNIA member 424 out of Baker, Louisiana, Brother Sean. On the Zoom, we have myself, member number 306, President John here in Atlanta. We have our Lady President, member 110, Mama Amina in Atlanta. Our Legal Defense Committee Coordinator, member 165, Attorney Imhotep here in Atlanta. Our First Lady Vice President, Sister Tania out of Dallas. Member 172, Dr. Shams out of New York. Brother Art, I know I got to get his member number, and Endale, Virginia, and then Brother Sundiata. So that makes 8 total on the call as of right now. Passing it back to you, First Lady, Vice President.
Hey, do I have any volunteers to help with the topic for today?
Yes, sister, I volunteered. It's Dr. Shams. I have it also on my website too, the exact document.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll read some too.
Okay. All right, can y'all, are you gonna put it up for us, President John? I don't know. Wait a minute, I done jumped out for the,
Yes, I am. I'm pulling it up now.
okay. I don't, all right, so let me get back to the agenda, because I put something up here from Marcus Garvey I need to read. Okay. I trust that you will so live today as to realize that you are masters of your own destiny, masters of your faith. If there is anything you want in this world, it is for you to strike out with confidence and faith and self and reach for it. All right. That's the Garvey quote for the day. And then I remember that there's something that I didn't add it to the agenda. I'm just now thinking about it. But there is something that comes before the Declaration of Rights. And I didn't copy that down. You know what I'm talking about, President John? Is it on the UNIA website or something like that?
It's not on
like,
the. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm finished. I just don't know where to find it.
No, I think I know what you're talking about. It's but that's, I'm glad you brought that up because I wanted to make sure we went over that. It's the preamble and the 12 complaints. I think that's what you're talking about.
Okay.
So in addition to, so sometimes people just focus on the 54 declarations, which is substantial in itself. However, the complete document, to my understanding, it consists of a preamble as well as 12 complaints and then 54 declarations. And tonight we'll go over all of that. We're not going to skip out on anything. Brother Art, I think your line is unmuted. Got your background coming in. Thank you. Is that what you were saying, Sister Tania? Did you?
Yes, that's what I meant. Okay. I just couldn't remember what it was, or where to find it.
Race first.
Race first.
I have it on my website. Yeah.
So I've got it up, Sister Tania, whenever we're ready.
Okay, I'm ready.
Who's our volunteers?
Well, I guess I was gonna go ahead and start. We had 2 volunteers. I think that was Brother Art and Dr. Sham said that they would read.
Okay.
So I guess I started off, and once we get to the other stuff, then we just I guess do 5 or 10 of them at a time and pass it. Or I guess 10 will be good. 10 and pass it.
Oh, well, this is a background. I don't know. This is not part of it. This is someone else's explanation of it, from my understanding. But it starts officially here. Be it resolved.
Just jumped off the. Now I don't see anything.
Yeah, I don't see anything.
I mean, I see a gift from Zoom.
Hold on. You see now?
Okay. Be it resolved that the Negro people of the world through the, hold on, let me get my glasses. There they go. All right. Be it resolved that the Negro people of the world through their chosen representatives and convention assembled in Liberty Hall in the city of New York in United States of America from August 1st to August 31st in the year of our Lord 1920, protest against the wrongs and injustice they are suffering at the hands of their white brethren, and state what they deem their fair and just rights, as well as the treatment they propose to demand of all men in the future. We complain, number one, that nowhere in the world, with the exception, are Black men accorded equal treatment with white men, although in the same situation and circumstances, but on the contrary, are discriminated against and denied the common rights due to human beings for no other reason than their race and color. We are not willingly accepted as guests in the public hotels and inns of the world for no other reason than our race and color. Okay, number two, in certain parts of the United States of America, our race is denied the right of public trial according to other races when accused of crime. But are lynched and burned by mobs. Such brutal and inhumane treatment is even practiced upon our women. Okay, I'm sorry, somebody's, all right, there you go. All right, number three, the European nations have parceled out among them and taken possessions of nearly all of the continent of Africa, and the natives are compelled to surrender their land to aliens and are treated in the most instances like slaves. Number four, the southern in the southern portion of the United States of America, although citizens under the federal constitution and in some states almost equal to the whites in populations, are qualified landowners and taxpayers, we are nevertheless denied all voice in the making and administration of the laws and are taxed without representation by the state governments, and at the same time compelled to do military service in defense of the country. On the public conveyances and common carriers in the southern portion of the United States, we are Jim Crow and compelled to accept, accept separate and inferior accommodations and made to pay the same fair charge for first class accommodations. And our families are often humiliated and insulted by drunken white men who habitually pass through the Jim Crow cars going to the smoking car. Number six, the physicians of our race are denied the right to attend their patients while in public hospitals of the cities and states where they reside in certain parts of the United States. Our children are forced to attend inferior separate schools for shorter terms than white children, and the public funds are unequally divided between the white and colored schools. We are discriminated against. Number seven, we are discriminated against and denied an equal chance to earn wages for the support of our families, and in many instances are refused admission into labor unions, and nearly everywhere are paid smaller wages than white men. Number eight, in the civil service and the departmental offices, we are everywhere discriminated against and made to feel that to be a Black man in Europe, America, and the West Indies is equivalent to being an outcast and a leper among the races of men, no matter what the character attainments of the Black men may be. Number nine, in the British and other West Indies islands and colonies, Negroes are secretly and cunningly discriminated against and denied those fuller rights of government to which citizens are appointed, nominated, and elected. 10, that our people in those parts are forced to work for lower wages than the average standard of white men and are kept in conditions repugnant to good civilized tastes and customs. 11, that the many acts of injustice against members of our race before the courts of law and the respective islands and colonies are of such nature as to create disgust and disrespect for the white man's sense of justice. 12, against all inhumane, unchristian, and uncivilized treatment, we here and now empathetically protest and invoke the condemnation of all mankind in order to encourage our race all over the world and to stimulate it to overcome the handicaps and difficulties surrounding it and to push forward to a higher and grander destiny, we demand and insist on the following declarations of rights. Okay, I'm gonna stop there and pass it. Could you read, whoever go next, could you read 5 or 10? 10 preferably, but if you can only do 5, that's good too.
First Lady Vice President.
Mhm.
Can we stop? I wanted to just, open the floor for a second.
Oh yeah. Okay.
On the complaints, and just get a feel for what our people think. 102 years later, how do we feel about these 12 complaints? And as we were going through it, I was thinking in my mind, which one of these complaints, are not still an issue today? But I want to know everybody's thoughts on the complaints. Brother Sean, is that you? One second. Greetings. Brother Andrew?
Yeah, this is Brother Andrew. How's everything?
Doing well. Did you have any comments on the complaints?
I think I only got you like a minute now. I didn't hear any complaints.
Okay, we're going over the Declaration of Rights of the Negro peoples of the world. We just read the first 12 complaints. Well, the 12 complaints. We're opening up the floor to see what people think about the complaints that our ancestors documented in 1920.
Okay.
Yeah, right now they're showing our flag complaints. Oh.
Yeah, was there any comment before we go on to the actual declarations? Any comment? Well, one thing, any comments?
The struggle continues.
Struggle continues. Thank you, Brother Art.
And they may not be lynching, but they're shooting and killing that way.
I was thinking that as well.
That's what I was thinking also, Lady President. I was like, well, I can see that, are there any complaints that we can say that, it may not be as bad, but I didn't really see anything that I can say it's not happening anymore.
Right. Well,
without a doubt.
That's part of my point. 102 years ago, our ancestors came together, and from a legal standpoint, we talk about the requirements of nationhood or government. One of the requirements is a declaration. This document is a clear legal document that's been submitted, to the United States as well as the rest of the world as a public declaration of what we feel, or what we as a people feel are the complaint, are the injustices that our people have to go throughout the world. So before we get into the declarations of what we will do, I like how the 12 complaints ended with number 12, and it says, after it stated all the complaints against all such inhuman, unchristian, and uncivilized treatment, we here and now emphatically protest and invoke the condemnation of all mankind. In order to encourage our race all over the world and to stimulate it to overcome the handicaps and difficulties surrounding it, and to push forward to a higher and grander destiny, we demand and insist on the following declarations of rights. So I'm very proud of our ancestors for having the courage. One second. I'm very proud of our ancestors for having the courage, as well as, I guess the word is wherewithal, to be able to put a document together like this, that we, 100 years later, we can still stand on and say, we have proven record that we've been dealing with these issues for over 100 years. Go ahead, brother. Is that Brother Sean?
Yes, Brother Sean. I respect what the elders did, but my question is that 102 years and we still fighting the same fight. How can we look for a savage nation to change and we not really putting forth the effort? They ain't gonna change. I mean, I understand what the elders did, but it's just like a woman asking a rapist, stop raping me. And he know he raping you. Mm-hmm. It doesn't make any sense. You care to share some light on that, Mr. President?
Hold on, Mama Mina, could you hear what he was saying?
Yes, for sure. He didn't mind raping us. It was all right. I mean, we were his property. He do what he wanted with us.
Okay, yeah, that's one aspect to it. So in regards to the time and the fact that things are still happening, absolutely, you are correct. But one of the things as to why it's still happening is we've been complicit, as a people. And that's why this is so important to us and so important to us as Garveyites. A true Garveyite takes the position that we are tired of it, and we have been tired of it. And that's another, reason why this is so important. Most, a lot of our people have not reached the point where they're tired of it. We get upset. We wake up, get woke for about 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 6 months in reality, but then we go right back to sleep. 2020 was a great year for organization, for the public display of the injustices of our people. But in 2022, we're right back to, the commercial competition of the United States and trying to get, the newest car, the biggest house, the nicest shoes and all that stuff. So that would be my response is we as a people, we haven't truly committed ourselves to the long struggle. We get excited for the moment, but when it comes to the long struggle, the year, day in, day out, year in, year out, we're not consistent as a people.
I have another question, Mr. President.
Yes, sir.
The goal of the UNIA, we trying to reach a goal.
Yes,
okay?
Sir.
How many, we cannot put a number on who gonna wake up or when they gonna wake up. We have to keep moving. They have to play catch up. Because, if we sit back and just wait and say, well, we ain't got enough people, so let it be.
Yes.
Let's fight. Because the thing is, 102 years. Mm-hmm. Count the people in this group right now. And look how long the UNIA been around. Look how long any other group been around. Count the numbers in this group, in other groups, and count the number of melanated people that's in this country. Mm-hmm. Some people ain't gonna wake up And we fighting a cause that a lot of soldiers are fighting, get thrown in jail, get murdered, and falling by the wayside for whatever reason it may be. And the rest of our people just don't give a damn.
Yes, sir.
We can't look for everybody to come along with us. And it ain't gonna happen because, just to give you an instance, when Moses led the children of Israel out of Egypt, it would be super stupid and crazy to think that everybody left Egypt. You had some people stay back there with Pharaoh.
I agree. However, in addition, but may I respond by touching on your example?
Go for it, brother.
That's what we're here for. When Moses carried or led the people out of Egypt, they lived in wilderness for 40 years, you know.
And they were in the wilderness. That's a whole generation gone.
And they struggled. And a lot of them complained and, you know, even said, you know, you led us, you know, away from Egypt to die out here in the wild. So even the ones that went, you know, it wasn't a smooth transition, you know, but I do understand your point. Not everybody is going to make it and not everybody wants to leave, but how do we know where to cut it off and, you know, say, all right, we got enough and let's go with what we got, you know?
You know what I say to that? What I said earlier, we just got to keep it moving. If they want to be a part of this, well, they got to jump on board. We're not reaching back to grab you because if you remember when Haiti got hit when Toussaint Overture had fought against Napoleon Bonaparte, they didn't have
exactly.
They didn't have a bunch of people. It took them 12 years. If my understanding and what I read, it took them 12 years to be a force that was greater than them. So they didn't have a lot of people. The thing is, you just got to have the desire to want to be a free person. That's all it takes. You got to want to be free. You can't look for somebody to just give you freedom. Just why? Why? Because why? Why is your slave master gonna give you freedom when they had no game plan of you ever being free? All we are right now are cows grazing out in the pasture with a fence around it. That's all we is right now. Cows grazing in the pasture, and every now and then, time for census, he count how many cows he got in the pasture.
Yeah. But you said something. 1 second. You said something important. You said that we have to want to be free. And I think that's what we do in the process of working for liberation and getting out. We still send out the message, you know, for those that do have the potential to be like-minded, that, you know, it's time to go. We are moving. So was somebody going to make a comment?
Yeah, Brother John, can I just comment? Now, I just clicked on and I jumped in the middle of this conversation.
This is Brother
AC.
Brother AC, yes. Okay. Greetings, Brother AC. How you doing?
Yeah. Excellent. Thanks for asking. Now, I came in the middle of the conversation, but I think I heard enough to get a basic understanding. Now, I stand in the middle, and I definitely understand where the brother's coming from. And I understand what President John is trying to enlighten and bring forth. But both are somewhat right, because I sometimes get frustrated when people jump on board and they say one thing with their mouth, say they want to go to Florida, but when the war starts, they got a ticket for Florida, so they're going in the opposite direction.
Yeah.
But, you know, I'm going to go back, because somebody used the scripture, and I think it was both of you. And, you know, Hosea 4:6, I use it, 6:4 says, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. And see, yeah, so what I'm hearing and what I'm seeing here is that because a lot of us have been in the church, and I hate to get somebody angry with me, but it is what it is. And we have been taught, and what a lot of us have blamed it on the man. They say we have been programmed. But I somewhat want to disagree. I feel like our ancestors had no choice because they didn't have what we have today. But we are programmed by choice. We have allowed ourselves
yes, sir.
to continue.
Oh, hold on.
Because a lot of people are suffering for lack of knowledge. They don't have the understanding of why it's important to wake up or do research or come on this program to get information to find out where they are and what's going on around them and the consequences. I kind of understand what the brother is saying, but on the other hand, if you go to march against the army and you're not prepared, I don't have to tell you what's going to happen.
Yes, sir. Well, thank you, Brother AC. And the thing that I was trying to bring forth, the concept of programming from a Garvey perspective. Garvey teaches liberate the minds of men, and ultimately you'll liberate the bodies of men. So in the process of us doing this liberation work, we still have to work to liberate the minds of our people. And we know that once that is liberated, the work will become, people will understand the responsibilities, of each individual. So, yeah, as Garveyites, we still have to work to liberate the minds of our people.
Yeah, a brief comment, Brother Imhotep here. I would say that things will change. Things are changing daily. Less than 200 years ago, what was our condition? It was pretty bad as compared to today. That's what history is about. The old saying, everything must change. Nothing remains the same. And there's another saying, the African saying, just as it was in the beginning, so shall it be in the end.
Yes, sir.
And that's right.
That's it. So things are changing daily. We have to do our part to, knowing that things are changing, and we're fighters. So we still have a struggle. There's been a war against us, African people, for thousands of years.
And that's right.
And it's going to continue. Okay, a while, but things are changing. It cannot be stopped. That we will. Oh yes, just as it was in the beginning. Yeah, so shall it be in the end.
So shall it be.
Thank you, Attorney Imhotep. Any other questions?
And another important point is that we have got to, talk about something scriptural. Love your neighbor as you love yourself. You got to love yourself and your community. And you got to make it work for yourself and for your community.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And the way these communities have been going, shoot, half the time, a lot of us was in a Black community. So your neighbor was your brother next door. Until people started branching out, going and try to integrate these other areas.
Yeah. I'm still of the opinion, the more I learn, the more I'm involved in organization. It's a mental struggle.
It's a mental struggle.
Our people are, as we've said, brainwashed, programmed, whatever it may be. But at the end of the day, we are complicit, on a mass level, we are complicit with our condition. And until we, collectively, reject what's being done to us and how we're being treated, I don't know if things will change, because we're allowing it to happen.
Without a doubt. You know, in the 60s, we were so proud. We said we all had these big old naturals, and we was black and proud. We were trying to wear traditional clothes and dashikis. I'm looking out here today. It's a whole nother generation of people. They want to have the longest, the straightest, somebody else's hair on their head, eyelashes that 5 feet long. I mean, don't make no sense. And they think that's beauty. Beauty's in the eye of the beholder. So I'm letting you know it's sick. We got to love who we are.
Yes, ma'am. Garvey teaches us, we must be proud of, how God made us. God didn't make us
exactly
by accident.
That's right.
So, all right. We'll go ahead. We still got a lot of time. It's going to take us quite a bit to get through the actual declarations. We were just discussing the complaints, which is the foundation of the declarations. A lot of people get into the declarations and what we want to do, but sometimes we skip over why we wanted to do those things. So we just discussed the why, and now the actual declarations is the what. So with that, who is our next reader for the declarations?
Grace first.
Dr. Sharon, Grace first. Let me turn my, go ahead, Dr. Sharon.
Okay. Number 1, be it known to all men that whereas all men are created equal and entitled to the rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and because of this, we, the duly elected representatives of the Negro peoples of the world, invoking the aid and just and almighty, declare all men, women, and children of blood throughout the world free citizens, and do claim them as free citizens of our motherland of all Negroes. Number 2, that we believe in supreme authority, our race in all things racial, that all things are created and given to man as a possession, that there should, yes, that there should be an equitable distribution and appropriation of all such things, and in consideration of the fact that as a race we are now deprived of things that are morally and legally ours, we believe it right that all such things should be acquired and held by whatsoever means possible. Number 3, that we believe the Negro, like any other race, should be governed by the ethics of civilization and therefore should not. Your picture's blocking some of the reading, brother John. Come down a little lower. Okay, come down. No, not. It's not the camera. It's the actual square that's blocking stuff. Okay, good. Right there. Number 3, I'll read it again. That we believe the Negro, like any other race, should be governed by the ethics of civilization and therefore should not be deprived of any of those rights or privileges common to other human beings. Number 4, we declare that Negroes, wheresoever they form a community among themselves, should be given the right to elect their own representatives to represent them in legislatures, courts of law, or such institutions as may exercise control over the particular community. Number 5, we assert that the Negro is entitled to even-handed justice before all courts of law and equity in whatever country he may be found. And when this is denied him on account of his race or color, such denial is an insult to the race as a whole and should be resented by the entire body of Negroes. Number 6, we Okay, number 6, we declare it unfair and presidential to the rights of Negroes in communities where they exist in considerable numbers to be tried by a judge and jury composed entirely of an alien race, but in all such cases, members of our race are entitled to representation on the jury. Number 7, we believe that any law or practice that tends to deprive any African of his land or the privileges of free citizenship within his country is unjust and immoral, and no native should respect any such law or practice. Number 8. We declare taxation without representation unjust and tyrannous, and therefore should be no obligation on the part of the Negro to obey the levy of a tax by any lawmaking body from which he is excluded and denied representation on account of his race and color.
Oh, that's right.
Number 9, we believe that any law especially directed against any Negro to his detriment and singling him out because of his race or color is unfair and immoral and should not be respected. Number 10, we believe all men entitled to common human respect and that our race should in no way tolerate any insults that may be interpreted to mean disrespect to our race or color. Thank you very much. Race first.
All right.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Number 11.
Going next, bro.
Number 11. We deprecate the use of the word nigger as applied to Negroes and demand the word Negro be written with a capital N. Number 12. We believe that the Negro should adopt every means to protect himself against barbarous practices inflicted upon him because of his color. Number 13, we believe that the freedom of Africa, the Negro people of the world, and the principle of Europe for the Europeans and Asia for the Asiatics, we also demand Africa for Africans at home and abroad.
All right.
Number 14, we believe in the inherent right of the Negro to possess himself of Africa, and his possessions of the same shall not be regarded as an infringement of any claim or purpose made by any race or nation. 15, we strongly condemn the cupidity of those nations of the world who, by open aggression or secret schemes, have seized the territories and inexhaustible natural wealth of Africa, and we place on record our most solemn determination to reclaim the treasures and possessions of the vast continent of our forefathers. Number 16, we believe all men should live in peace, one with the other. But when races and nations provoke the ire of other races and nations by attempting to infringe upon their rights, war becomes inevitable. And the attempt in any way to free oneself or protect one's rights or heritage becomes justifiable. 17, whereas the lynching by burning, hanging, or any other means of human beings is a barbarous practice and a scheme to disgrace and to civilization. We therefore declare any country guilty of such atrocities outside the pale of civilization. 18, we protest against the atrocious crime of whipping, flogging, overworking of the native tribes of Africa and Negroes everywhere. These are methods that should be abolished by all means, should be taken to prevent the continuance of such brutal practices. 19, we protest against the atrocious practice of shaving the heads of Africans, especially of African women or individuals of Negro blood. We place in prison and the punishment for crime by an alien race. Number 20, we protest against segregated districts, separate public conveyances, industrialist discrimination, lynchings, limitations of political privileges of any Negro citizen in any part of the world on account of race, color, creed, and will exert our full influence and power against all such.
Okay, thank you. All right, that messed me up, that 10 right there in the middle. Okay, 21, we protest against any punishment inflicted upon a Negro with severity as against lighter punishment inflicted upon another of an alien race for the like offense as an act of prejudice and injustice and should be resented by the entire race. 22, we protest against the system of education in any country where Negroes are denied the same privileges and advances as other races. 23, we declare it inhumane and unfair to boycott Negroes from industries and labor in any part of the world. 24, we believe in the doctrine of freedom of the press, and we therefore emphatically protest against the suppression of Negro newspapers and periodicals in various parts of the world, and call upon Negroes everywhere to employ all available means to prevent such suppression. 25, we further demand free speech universally for all men. 26, we hereby protest against the publication of scandalous and inflammatory articles by an alien press tending to create racial strife and the exhibition of pictures, films, and showing the Negroes as accountable. 27, we believe in self-determination of all peoples. 28, we declare for the freedom of religious worship. 29, with the help of Almighty God, we declare ourselves the sworn protectors of the honor and virtue of our women and children and pledge our lives for their protection and defense everywhere and under all circumstances from the wrongs and outrage. 30, we demand the right of an unlimited, unprejudiced education for ourselves and our posterity forever. 31, we declare that the teaching in any school by an alien teachers to our boys and girls that the alien race is superior to the Negro race is an insult to the Negro people of the world. 32, where Negroes form a part of the citizenry of any country and pass the civil service examination of such country, we declare them entitled to the same consideration as other citizens as the appointments in such civil service. 33, we vigorously protest against the increasingly unfair and unjust treatment accorded Negro travelers on land and sea by the agents and employees of railroad steamship companies and insist that for equal fare we receive and equal privileges with travelers of other races. 34, we declare it unjust for any country, state, or nation to enact laws tending to hinder and obstruct the free immigration of Negroes on account of their race and color. 35, that the right of the Negro to travel unmolested throughout the world be not abridged by any person or persons, and all Negroes are called upon to give aid to a fellow Negro when thus molested. 36, We declare that all Negroes are entitled to the right to travel over the world as other men. 37, we hereby demand that the government of the world recognize our leader and his representatives chosen by the race to look after the welfare of our people under such governments. 38, we demand complete control of our social institutions without interference by alien race or races. 39, that the colors red, black, and green be the colors of the Negro race. Number 40, resolve that the anthem Ethiopia, thou land, our fathers, etc., shall be the anthem of the Negro race. Could I get somebody to jump in? 41.
Yes, I have it. So I have it, Sister Tania. Race first. Number 41, we believe that any limited liberty which deprives one of the complete rights and prerogatives of full citizenship is but a modified form of slavery. Number 42, we declare it an injustice to our people, and a serious impediment to the health of the race to deny to competent, licensed Negro physicians the right to practice in the public hospitals of the communities in which they reside for no other reason than their race and color. Number 43, we call upon the various governments of the world to accept and acknowledge Negro representatives who shall be sent to the said governments to represent the general welfare of the Negro peoples of the world. Number 44, we deplore and protest against the practice of confining juvenile prisoners in prisons with adults, and we recommend that such youthful prisoners be taught gainful trades under humane supervision. Number 45, be it further resolved that we as a race of people declare the League of Nations null and void as far as the Negro is concerned, in that it seeks to deprive Negroes of their liberty. Number 46, we demand all men to do unto us as we would do unto them in the name of justice, and we cheerfully accord to all men and all the rights we claim herein for ourselves. Number 47, we declare that no Negro shall engage himself in battle for an alien race without first obtaining the consent of the leader of the Negro people of the world, except in matter of national self-defense. Number 48, we protest against the practice of drafting Negroes and sending them to war with alien forces without proper training, and demand in all cases that Negro soldiers be given the same training as the aliens. Number 49, we demand that instructions given Negro children in schools include the subject of Negro history to their benefit. Number 50, we demand a free and unfettered commercial intercourse with all Negro people of the world. Number 51, we declare for the absolute freedom of the seas for all peoples. Number 52, we demand that our duly accredited representatives be given proper recognition in all leagues, conferences, conventions, or courts of international arbitration wherever human rights are discussed. Number 53, we proclaim the 31st day of August of each year to be an international holiday to be observed by all Negroes. Number 54, we want all men to know that we shall maintain and contend for the freedom and equality of every man, woman, and child of our race with our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor. These rights we believe to be justly ours and proper for the protection of the Negro race at large, and because of this belief, we, on behalf of the 400 million Negroes in the world, do pledge herein the sacred blood of the race in defense, and we hereby subscribe our names as a guarantee of the truthfulness and faithfulness hereof. In the presence of Almighty God, on this 13th day of August, in the year of our Lord 1920. Source: UNI Declaration of Rights of the Negro People of the World, New York, August 13, 1920, reprinted in Robert Hill edition. The Marcus Garvey and Universal Negro Improvement Papers, Volume 2, Berkeley University of California, Press 1983, number 571 to 578. 580, sorry. Peace and race first.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. Sam. Thank you, Brother Art. Y'all really helped me out. So, thank you. And I guess we open up the floors. So if anybody wants to have any questions or comments about this document.
Yeah, let me say a comment first.
Okay.
Yeah, one of the things, as I said, this is a legal document. And when you look at the wording of this document, when we get into the declarations, you see a lot of demand, declare, protest, proclaim, and I think there was one recommend. But you know, one of our teachers, I think it was Malcolm X, said, you know, a man who doesn't have anything to stand on will fall for anything. This is a foundational document in the UNIA. When the question is brought up, what we stand for, what we fight for, this is a fundamental part of that answer. So I just wanted people to be aware of some of the language and how direct our ancestors were in regards to what we were going to do, not what we recommended to be done necessarily, but what we demanded, what we declared, and what we at the end promised, you know, with our names, that we would make sure is done for our people. So with that, I'll open up the floor for any questions, comments on the 54 Declarations of Rights of the Negro Peoples of the World, August 13th, 1920.
Yes, the Brother Imhotep here.
Imhotep, go ahead.
And the reference to the lynchings that were occurring there during that time, August 1920. Yeah, it was pretty bad, you know. And as they're saying, that you're outside the pale of civilization.
Yes, sir.
And we went through that, and we were outnumbered. This is not our home. Okay, and weapons we were prevented from having. Reading and writing was prevented. But the lynchings, and that's why I love the sister from Mississippi, Holly Springs, Mississippi. It was Barnett.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think. No, Ida B. Wells.
Oh, Ida Wells Barnett. Okay.
Yeah. Who fought. So that's just my comment.
Thank you, Attorney Imhotep. That was actually one of the declarations that I noted, 17, and I'll read it again because it talks about lynching, but it's still modern day because it says, whereas by the lynching, by burning, hanging, or any other means. So even, unjust police shootings, the things that happen on, back roads in the middle of the night, it doesn't have to be a rope hanging in order for it to be a lynching. And all of these methods of terrorism are things that we documented, and as Declaration 17 says, we declare any country guilty of such atrocities outside the pale of civilization. So we've long ago, as an organization, declared these acts as acts of uncivilized peoples. And the fact that these things are still happening today is just further evidence of as Attorney Imhotep said, this is not our home. And we can do our best to reform, but we are revolutionaries, and we're working to build for ourselves. So thank you, Attorney Imhotep. Any other comments on declarations of rights of Negro peoples of the world?
Raise first.
Shams, I gotta turn my mic down when you come in. Go ahead, Dr. Shams.
Yes, sir. This would be a good document too to educate our younger brothers and sisters in school, which is one of the things that it does imply and say that we should do, for our own kind. I think if more people know about this document and what it actually said, it could help cut down on black crimes too, which is not missing extensively, but it has the remedy within that text. Race first.
Yes, sir. I thought that was, I can't type Negro because that's going to come up all over the place. Yes, you are correct. It's towards the end. But yeah, we demanded education. Yes, here we go. Demand that instructions given to Negro children in schools include the subject of quote unquote Negro history to their benefit. So teaching pride for our race, as some of our organizations have taught recently, the divinity of our race. I'm not going to necessarily say that we are gods and goddesses. That's something that Garvey teaches against. We don't teach that man is God. So, but we are definitely divine men and women, kings and queens, and some of that knowledge and pride and self, I think would help to what Dr. Shams was saying in regards to the crime and how we don't value each other, and how our youth don't value one another. Thank you, Dr. Shams, for that comment. Anyone else?
Can I say something?
Go ahead, Brother Sean.
Well, we're demanding proper education. We're in somebody else's land. And it just baffles me that you or we as a people still asking the slave master to respect us. We could just sit here and preach this till we turn blue in the face. It ain't gonna happen. There is a solution, but you got to be willing to die for it. It's gonna be bloodshed. If you look back at history of every other people that wanted their freedom for whatever purpose they wanted it for, they shed blood.
Yes, sir.
How is we in a land of another person think that we gonna get freedom without shedding blood? I would like to know that, because if we've been marching, holding up cardboard signs ever since we've been in this country, what do you think these people gonna change when they had no game plan of us ever being free?
They don't plan on changing anything. But I understand what you're saying. I agree. But we must organize. If we go out as a group of 5, even a group of 50 or 500, we will be martyrs. Hopefully we will be remembered, but it won't change. We have to have a mental movement or mental revolution on the masses, to where we have an agreement of what it takes, and commit, that we want to do what it takes. Because as you're saying, when you say things like, when we, and I agree, it will take what you said, even Malcolm said, no revolution has been won, except through bloodshed. But that, the state of our people right now, that scares them away. The fact that they may actually be harmed is a deterrent, So again, I think mentally, but to bring it back to the Declarations of Rights in regards to bloodshed, the last declaration, 54, it states, we want all men to know that we shall maintain and contend for the freedom and equality of every man, woman, and child of our race, with our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor. These rights we believe to be justly ours and proper for the protection of the Negro race at large. And because of this, we, on the behalf of our 400 million Negroes of the world, do pledge herein the sacred blood of the race in defense. And we hereby subscribe our names as a guarantee of the truthfulness and faithfulness hereof in the presence of Almighty God on this 13th day of August, year of our Lord, 1920. And I think, as I read that in completion, as I said, we as Garveyites, we stand on this, and as Malcolm said, people who don't have anything to stand on will fall for anything. As Garveyites, we've made a promise, to do what it takes, to, sacrifice what needs to be sacrificed for the liberation of our people. The problem is, in my mind, there aren't enough Garveyites, or at least there aren't enough individuals that have made a clear position and made a promise, and made a declaration that they are willing to do what it takes, so, we could talk about it, as you said, until we turn blue in the face, but until we as a people collectively make a promise in the eyes of Almighty God, we just making noise.
I have another question, Mr. President.
Go ahead.
On number 47, what number 47 was? Proper training to fight against what?
Hold on, that wasn't 47. Oh yeah. 47 states, we declare that no Negro shall engage himself in battle for an alien race without first obtaining the consent of the leader of the Negro people of the world, except in a matter of national self-defense. I don't think that's the one you were talking about, was it?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
That's it. Because I'm sitting there trying to figure out when George Washington and them, went to do battle. What's his name? The brother name? Crispus Attucks.
Yes.
For liberation of another people.
Yes, sir.
And he never enjoyed no freedom himself.
Yes, sir.
From that brother on forward, how many brothers fought in wars for this country and got lynched and hung with a uniform on?
With their uniforms on. You're right.
Called the 24.
Yes, sir.
Never knew nothing about it. It was pertaining to some brothers over in Houston, Texas, that came back from World War I in the town, and I would never forget what that brother said. He told his white boy. He said, "I'm a United States soldier." White boy looked at him and said, "So what? You're still a nigger."
Yes, sir.
And it kicked off. So I'm sitting up here saying that we. And I think the president, Biden, just gave a sister a medal a couple of days ago because she was in an all-black unit of black sisters that went to sort out the mail for the people in World War II. And I'm sitting up here saying, we get these medals, we get these honors, we get our 15 minutes of fame, and what has it got us?
Nothing.
We get recognized 50 years later, or letter. He's 102 years old. What difference is it gonna make him now? You gonna send him to the grave with a smile on his face after you done gave him damn near 80 years of hell?
Yes, sir.
It doesn't just make any sense to me.
My response to that, modern day butter biscuits. You know, that's all I can think of. You know, I know in times of slavery, that was what we, you know, wanted, and that's all it took for us to trade on our race. Today, we still have the same concept. It's just a modern, more luxurious butter biscuit, so to speak. Mute your lines, please.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's that. There's always going to be trinkets or luxuries, you know, that this society can provide to our people, you know, to either turn on our people or just not focus on our people. And that's, you know, going back to what we were saying in the beginning, I think that's part of the struggle as to why we are still in the condition that we're in, and we will continue to be in the condition that we're in, because, you know, America specifically has made our situation so comfortable, you know, from a mass perspective. You know, even though they kill us, you know, every so often we get killed in the streets, but it's not enough to where we, you know, we really put our feet down and say this, enough is enough. You know, this is the plan. This is what we're going to do. We're going to be out in 5, 10, 20 years.
I respect your position, Brother John, but you know, when I sit back and just analyze, you know, being at peace, you know, with yourself. Nope, you in the room, just you and the spirits, or whatever y'all want to choose to do. Talk to God by yourself. But if we are talking about this in 22, and Marcus was talking about this in 1920, look at much time between 22 and 1920. That's a lot of time right there. I'm 56 years old. I don't know what I got left, but I know what's behind me, and it don't look good.
Yes, sir.
You know, it don't even look good for my grandkids. It just don't.
Yes, sir.
You know?
Yes, sir. You're absolutely right. Garvey, you know, and a word that you'll see in a lot of Garvey's work is the word progeny. You know, it's not about us. It's about the generations to come. Garvey, you know, in some of his famous lectures, he said, you know, the time that he gave was 200 years. You know, he thought it would only take 200 years. We're 100 years from there. But my point is, you know, even going back to the Moses example, a generation will have to understand that they're not going to make it, and do the best that they can so that the next generation or the generation after them will actually make it. But I agree with you. In 2022, I don't see us making it in the next, you know, 40 years unless something drastically changes. But the best that we can do, organize, try to liberate the minds of our people and continue to plant these seeds. You know, if it is 100 years later, but luckily 100 years later, we do still have the information from that time. You know, it could be, you know, we could be in this situation trying to start from scratch, you know, but we're blessed that, you know, Garvey and our ancestors did what they did, laid down the record, and we were able to preserve that, you know, for over 100 years. I'm sure this is not the first time it's been done, but this is one that we were able to preserve. So we have to continue to do the work, continue to preserve it, and hopefully, you know, we can put the next generation in a better situation, whether it's, you know, physically in a better situation, or at least provide them with a better plan, you know, based on the things that we've learned in the past. But no, it's not going to be us. You know, you know, we have to understand that. We'll at least have to consider that it's not going to be us. It may not even be our children, but we have to instill in them the correct principles such that they're carried on through the generations. It's not on our time. It's on. Go ahead.
Well, honestly, whatever, I believe that the Creator, whatever we needed to survive on this planet was already embedded in us, in our DNA.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have to learn nothing. Everything we learned is not us. It's the Europeans. That's not even natural or indigenous to this whole planet. So we learning something that from them that we should already know. We just need to tap into, you know, our spirit and learn who we are. Because the reason why I'm saying it like that, back during the Civil War, the South was handing the Union soldiers their ass on a platter. He was giving it to them. And the president of Russia, Alexander II, I can't remember his first name, he told General Grant, them black people, them slaves over there, give them guns and you will win the war. General Grant, this is documented history. General Grant went back to Abraham Lincoln and said, I need to induct the Negroes into the Union Army. That's how they got in the Union Army. And when they got there, what happened? That's the same thing if you look at it all through history. The white boy cannot win. It ain't in him to win. It's in our nature to fight, and people saying, well, we're not properly trained. You was trained the day you took your first breath. You had it in you already to fight. If you look at the generation that's behind us, I'm talking about my kids in their 20s, they do not fear death. This is the generation to fight right now. That's why they try to destroy this generation of people, the kids. We're coming with this homosexual stuff in schools. This generation of fight, we can't be scared. If you gonna stand on something, you got to fight for something. Let's fight. It's already in the wind for some other people are telling Farrakhan to blow the whistle. Quiet is the kept. They already telling Farrakhan, let's go to war with these people, man. Ain't no such thing as, oh, they got more guns than we got. We got 45s, they got AR-15s. It's in our nature to fight. Because if you look at it, if you take all black people out of all wars, America would have been lost their wars. They would have been lost. They won because we was with them. It's in our nature to fight.
I understand.
If you don't know it, if people don't know history, you need to go back and read and know thyself. That's what it says on top of the temple. Know thyself. Know who you are.
Yes, sir.
I think I said
but you see what they have done with us. They've tried to kill all of our leaders, even though they didn't kill Marcus Garvey. They sent him off. They sent him back to Jamaica. All the other, I mean, they killed Malcolm. They killed Martin Luther King. You understand? That's their technique. And then they don't teach you your history. In the 60s, I have to say that we said, you know, even James Brown had to let, we was black and proud, but we created, you know, Black Student Associations and Black Student Unions in the colleges across the land. What are we doing now? Who's speaking to our youth? I mean, the kids rather get in the gang than do anything.
Yes. And that's what I was going to touch on in regards to the fearlessness of our youth. That's true. But again, without the correct mindset or motivations, that fearlessness is being driven in the wrong direction. You know, so we have to find a way to motivate, you know, the next generation. And the only way to change the minds of a man or woman is through education. You know, So, you know, again, going back, we have to have a program of education and commit to a program of education. We can't escape white supremacy. There's nowhere in this world that you're going to go, you know, and hide from white supremacy. So we have to organize and be able to take on white supremacy, you know, head on. You know, and that's what we're trying to do.
And not only that, we say Africa for the Africans. China, the Chinese are in there. Now, we might not have been to Africa. I mean, few of us have. But those Chinese, they want that land. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And they are there.
Race first.
Race first.
Dr. Sham.
Yeah, it's a lot more hectic and confused than we think it is too. Because not only are they banning Black history, our people history from school, they get ready to set laws against it so that if we teach it in any way, they will lock us up. You know, that phrase about, you know, stopping genocide by incarceration, that's a real statement because they're trying to do it with our very history, our mere existence.
Exactly. And they talk about the critical race theory. What's the critical race? The critical race theory is to tell the truth about the history of white America, of America. I mean, they stole us out of Africa and they stole the land from the Native Americans. What else? What else is right?
But Mama Amina, yeah, on Declaration 15, our ancestors said, we strongly condemn the cupidity of those nations of the world who, by open aggression or secret schemes, have seized the territories and inexhaustible natural wealth of Africa. And we place on record our most solemn determination to reclaim the treasures and possessions of the vast continent of our forefathers. So before, you know, we had an issue with China being in Africa, when it was just Europe, you know, we stated a clear position that we disagreed with colonization in Africa. You know, I don't know if enough of our people have that same position. And I think that's part of the problem. You know, it's no reason 100 years later, we have a whole different continent, you know, a whole different country, sorry, that's on the motherland that we have to deal with. So
exactly,
it's like we're saying the same things to I don't know if it's the same people or different people, but our message hasn't changed. And maybe that, you know, I don't know if that's the problem, but it seems to be accurate. You know, we don't want foreign colonization. We haven't wanted it. We didn't want it 100 years ago. We don't want it now. We're not going to want it in another 100 years. So I don't know how we can rephrase this to be more, you know, appealing to the masses, but, you know, this is our position. Any other questions, comments on declarations? Yes.
I got a comment. You know, I don't know people in this, you know, the sound of my voice, I don't know how much they are about history, you know, but Dr. John Henry Clark said in one of his speeches back in the 80s, he said that the European and everyone else is getting ready to recolonize Africa all over again. He said that back in the 80s. And surely enough, what is going on? Now, this situation in the Ukraine, how they trying to get the Black Americans or the melanated people that lives in America to hate the Russians. If you look at it, Cuba in the Bay of Pigs, Cuba been saying for the longest that we could come there. I don't speak Spanish, but I understand what is going on. That is a place to go to refuge. I applied for my passport and was being denied, my passport, but it's time to go. I mean, Cuba offered that. And the thing about it, they are trying to, because they don't want to mess with Cuba because Russia backed Cuba up. And they always been that way. So somebody is reaching out a hand to us, always have been reaching a hand out to us, because when Fidel Castro was living in power, he offered scholarships to us, Black Americans, melanated people in America, to come there to go to school to learn medicine, under the condition that we come back to America and help our own people.
Yes, sir.
Nobody took it up. Farrakhan been saying it for the longest, to go down there. His kids went down there and learned medicine, or his daughters. Somebody is always helping us. But, you know, hey, we are creative people. We made the rap. I just heard the other day the video, some Mexicans out in California, they doing pretty good. Somebody asked him, are you going to sign some blacks? He said, hell no, we don't want to sign no black sons. But they are culture vultures. So it's heartbreaking that everybody is living off of us.
And that's the reality.
Obey. We want respect. We want our freedom. We tired of you misusing us. Hell, I don't know. You tell me. Because I'm sitting up here, I'm listening to it. I respect your position. I respect the declaration. But hell, when is enough going to be enough?
All right, let me.
The same thing that you and I, the same thing that you and I are talking about today in this group. Didn't somebody talk about that in 1920s?
Yes, sir.
They sure did.
Secretly in the 1800s?
Yes.
We still talking about there's nothing new under the sun. So we still preaching the same old sermon to a different group of generation of people. It's time to do something.
And what is it that we need to do? Because I know the answer, but I want to hear it from you.
I mean, we can get, well, first of all, don't expect everybody to come with us. That's the first thing. That's already in my mind. Some people gonna stay at home, and when we go out there and bullets be flying, they gonna say, we wasn't prepared, we was stupid. If they was just kept their mouth closed and stayed inside, they still would be alive right now. That's gonna be said, because I read about that in the Quran. There's a bunch of us when you said for the biscuit. They gonna say that. So now everybody ain't gonna come. If we go to war, or as Farrakhan said, when they kill one of us, we kill one of them. Yes. And we can sit at the table and we can talk again. Okay. We ain't doing no killing. There's no bloodshed but our blood.
Oh, may I ask a question? Another question.
Go for it.
Who is we?
We, from us melanated people.
Have we as I'm asking who is the we? Who has made a either documented or verbal commitment to be a part of the we? See, that's what I'm saying. We talk about. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
What I'm saying is this: in my heart and soul, you the president. You say let's go. I'm with you, brother. I promise you that on my life. I'm with you. I'm 56.
Yes, sir.
I'm 56. I got a grandson just a year old, and I'm 56. I'm listening to what we are talking about. My grandmother, she was talking about the same thing. Do you think I'm gonna talk about the same thing? And I got a grandson. It doesn't make any sense. It's crazy.
I understand. Okay, but
my grandmother talked about that.
Let me take a step back. Earlier when you were speaking, you brought up Mexicans, you brought up Ukraine, you brought up Russia. All three of those are established nations. What is the established nation of the Black man in America?
This whole planet, as far as I'm concerned, is ours.
This whole planet
is ours. This whole planet, when I say this whole planet, because biologically, mathematically, just like Brother Khalid said, just like Farrakhan said, even some of their old scientists said the same thing. They would not be here if it was not for us. So the white man, he couldn't have made us. Every other people that's here on this planet came through our DNA. What seemed to be the problem?
I understand,
If
but
they even speak.
but from a legal documentation standpoint, Russia, Ukraine, Mexico, these are nations with documented constitutions, documented dates of inception. You know, they have flags. When we say the we and our nation is the entire planet, that sounds very good, you know, but we can't go to, you know, the United Nations and saying that, you know, we're representing the entire world. So again, I'm trying to get us, and this is what Garveyism is about and organization is about. We have to define what that we is. And when I was saying, you know, Mexico, Ukraine, Russia, these are established nations. What Garvey was trying to create and what we are still trying to create is an established nation and representatives of that established nation for melanated people, no matter where they are. So us in the United States, we don't have to say, you know, go to the League of Nations and say we're representatives of Georgia or representatives of United States of America. We can say we are representatives of the UNIA in the region of the United States. So until we clearly define who the we is, and we have more individuals that are on that same page that, you know, that are ready to go when the call is made, we still have work to do. You know, I understand what you're saying, but when I go out here to Atlanta and we walk around and we make calls to say, hey, we need people here for this charity event, or we need people here for this protection program, or this men's program, women's program, we don't get 100% turnout. You know, so until that time comes, we have work to do to liberate the minds of our people so that they understand the responsibilities that come with nationhood and self-governance, self-reliance. Brother Sean.
Yes, that's. I mean, hey, I just want to be a soldier in the fight. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm just tired. I'm tired of hearing the same thing. I talked to a brother that I think he was formerly a Black Panther, and I was talking to him, and he got belligerent with me.
Yes.
He said he heard the same thing when he was young, going through the struggle, and now he's an older cat now. He said he's just trying to live.
Yes, sir.
He said, we ain't going to fight. He said, it's not going to be enough of us to fight.
Yes, sir.
So at some point, you just going to have to get up and fight. At some point, because if you're looking for numbers, we're not going to get them. No,
that's a suicide mission in my mind. You know, if you're trying to fight on your own instead of organizing and fighting, you know, legally, politically, that's a suicide mission. And at the best, you're asking to be a martyr and be remembered for, you know, the sacrifice that you made. But that is not a position, you know, that we take to just, you know, take the numbers that we have and fight now. That's not the position that we take.
Well, I guess then the next strategy would be we got to infiltrate public office, get elected to change some laws. Because if you look at it, the lynching, the lynching, they are within certain laws that are still on the books that we do not know nothing about. This is how come the police is basically getting away with it, because it's still on the book. Just like here in the state of Louisiana, it's on the book that if you take $100, which we know today's time, $100 don't do nothing for you. If you take $100 from a man, you could be put in prison for the rest of your life.
Okay.
That's why when they steal or they go rob something, they classify it as armed robbery. They got $100 or more. They giving them first offense. They giving them 45, 99 years.
That's isolation. You want to get rid of your enemy. You isolate them. You put them off in the prison, so they can't do nothing.
But I'm gonna ask you just a simple question: can we change these things outside of organizing?
No.
Organize it? No.
So again, you know, our fundamental 101, Garvey teaches us the greatest weapon used against the Negro is disorganization. You know, we have to continue to work to organize, and while we are organizing, educate, so that we understand, you know, why we're organizing, and as you said, what goals we're trying to accomplish, and how to accomplish these goals. But, you know, in 2022, that should not be the situation. That should not be the case. It should not be a level of ignorance of the law. And that, you know, if that law negatively affects our people, that should not still be on the books, you know? So there's something that we as a people are not doing. And I would have to imagine that part of what we're not doing is organizing and networking and communicating collectively.
Raise first. Raise first.
Dr. Shams, hold on, Brother Sean. Dr. Shams, he's been waiting.
Yes, as far as organization and us coming together collectively to utilize our skills, talents, and intelligence to overcome our oppression the correct way, the Holy Quran says, pertaining to David and Goliath, Dawood, and however they say Goliath in the Arabic, but yeah, the Holy Quran says that truth knocks the brains out of falsehood. So they come in and thinking of false, we come with something false. If we come with true knowledge and true education, we win in no other way. It ain't no, well, I don't curse, so I, you know, but you know, putting up face to face or taking a man on, that is not going to work. We have to defeat them the way we doing it with skills, talents, and intelligence, and supporting one another.
Yes, sir. You
know, none of us on this line need to support each other the way we should. Yes, and I'm a prime example of that. I have a website, got all this information, including what we went over tonight, and you know, it's not profiting me anything. It's not going nowhere. You know, I mean, there are brothers and sisters who go to work for a European every day who could put out something to help us, and we don't even care about ourselves enough to put out anything to help anybody, especially ourselves. But this is a good document to use against black on black if we want to educate our youth about something. Tell them about this document here, the Declaration of Negro Rights in the World. Tell them, educate them from here, and then we can spread out. That's the best way to be through the mind. Truth knocks the brain out of falsehood. Peace, raise first.
Raise first. Thank you, Dr. Shams. And yes, also, Elijah Muhammad taught our unity is more powerful than an atomic bomb. And history is the subject best qualified, most attractive to reward all research. We're not saying that this document is exactly where we are today. But we are pointing out the relevance of the document. But this is a historical piece, and you know, as John Henry Clark taught us, you know, the importance of history in order to give us a guide into the future. So this is just, you know, this is almost a study group, but we're just looking at this historical document from a legal perspective. Brother Sean, did you have a comment?
No, it was Brother Omar.
Greetings, Brother Omar. How you doing?
Peace, brother. I'm a little bit late. The last part I heard was basically about China. The sister, I think the sister was saying something about China.
Well, Brother Omar, it's almost 7 o'clock. We're getting ready to go into member share. Last couple minutes, if there's any closing comments in regards to the Declaration of Rights before we go to member share.
No.
Thank you, Brother Omar. Anybody have any comments on Declaration of Rights and Negro peoples of the world before we move to member share?
Ladies first.
Mr. President.
Brother Sean, go ahead.
Okay, I got one. You got an email address that you can email that whole thing to me?
Give me 1 second. I'm gonna write your email down. Go ahead.
It's Sean, S-E-A-N.
Yes, sir.
McCants, MCC, 148 @gmail.com.
Okay, I'll send this to you this evening. Thank you, brother.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Dr. Shams, did you have a comment?
Yeah, I'm just going to say, before we go up against this barbarian animal of an oppressor, talking about fighting them straight up, we better know what we're doing, and we better have somebody that have our back. You know, and the best way to do that is what Noble Drew Ali said. He said, link yourselves with the family nation. And listen, that's chapter 48 of Moorish Holy Quran. Peace, race first.
Race first. Thank you, Dr. Shams. Yes, Moorish Science Temple is going to be a pivotal foundation, as well as the UNIA, of course. Nation of Islam also will be a pivotal platform for us as melanated people here in this land, in regards to the lessons that they laid down for us to move forward. We were on a podcast last night with, y'all may know him, Brother Taharka Bey, who's a brother in the Moorish Science Temple out of Baltimore. But he had a great comment as well in regards to us fighting back. He said his elder told him, you know, you can't fight on your back. So we're trying to fight a man that's standing up, and we're still on our back as a people. So before we, you know, plan on fighting back or talk about fighting back, we need to stand up, you know, as a people and be able to see our opponent eye to eye. But we can't fight while we're laying down.
And that's right.
All right. Well, with that, that'll close out our portion of the topic for mass meeting, and we will go into member share. So as always, brothers, we should be good listeners, and we allow our sisters to go first. I want to open it up with I'm gonna save. I don't know if we got a lot of sisters. Shan, is that a sister? I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with the name. Shan on Zoom. Hope it's a sister. I hate when that happens, and I think it's a sister. That's not. Okay, Shan, are you there?
Yes, this is Ifanigi. I am a sister, but I'm on my iPad and I didn't change my name. I'm sorry.
No problem. How you doing, Sister Ifanigi?
Oh, fine. I was just enjoying the chat. I have nothing to say. Race first.
Race first. Thank you, Sister Ifanigi. Always here to support. So we appreciate that. Next, let me see if I got any sisters on the. Come back to that. I know we still got Lady President Mama Mina. You may be our last sister.
Well, as everybody knows, we're celebrating Marcus Garvey next Saturday.
Yes, ma'am.
And I had the suggestion that maybe we could sell some kind of product at that event, which would help our treasury somewhat. So if we're going to be there all day, maybe, I don't even know, some tacos, some hamburgers, some hot dogs, something, if the membership agrees, so that we could, you know, we need to make a little money.
Yes, I agree. Mama Mina brought this to me, what was this, yesterday, day before yesterday? And I just suggested that she bring it to the mass meeting. I'm in full support of it. But this is a lot of work, and it will require, you know, someone's involvement. There could obviously potentially be some financial gains from it, but we would want this to be primarily for the division and for the government. So we are asking for somewhat of volunteer.
I'm just trying to see if he's still coming over.
Sister Shan, your line coming through. Okay, I got you. So I don't know if there's anybody on the call tonight that could provide any items for Garvey Day, particularly food. I guess we were looking at, but we're looking for some support, some volunteers. If not, of course we're gonna make it happen anyway. We're gonna make it work somehow.
Race first.
Race first, Dr. Shams.
Yes, why not come up with some brochures or flyers of what we need? That's what we need to be doing. If we talking about getting more numbers, well, we got to get out the news of who we are and what we doing. A lot of people don't know us. We're not on WBLS on a regular basis like some of these companies down here, scam companies trying to rip people off. I'm not saying that we do that, but I am saying that we be out there just as much. Reverend Al Sharpton is on there. Steve Harvey is on there. They mentioned us a few times, but they need to mention us some more, and we need to do what we need to do in order to get brochures and flyers to build up our numbers, generate our numbers through education and employ for our struggle the proper skills, talents, and intelligence that our people have. We going the right way, not the wrong way, but we need to step up the pace educationally somewhat. Race first.
Race first. Thank you, Dr. Shams. You are correct. What I can say as far as what we have done in regards to promotion, we've and I've shown this to the membership. We printed up 1,000 brochures in June. We about running out at this point. I need to print up some more. We hand those out in person. So we'll have a few at Garvey Day. We have a Facebook. I'm working with our brother James to get us an Instagram. But we do have to understand the level of competition. We are a grassroots, where we are a for-profit organization. We're not a nonprofit 501c3, so we don't receive any government benefits. In fact, we actually pay taxes on a regular basis, on an annual basis for our organization. And obviously we have not received any funding outside of our race. So when it comes to what we do, what we can do, and how we promote and market compared to others, we don't have, the backing. It's almost like an independent artist versus somebody that's signed to a major deal. Like your level of promotion is not going to be the same. But you are correct. We have to do better. And that's something that, we as an organization and as our promotions team, we have to do better. But I'm proud of what we are doing. I must say that with the staff that we have. But I hear you loud and clear, Dr. Shams.
Race first. Thank you very much.
Yes, Mama Mina, was that it? You were just asking for support for
that. I'll try to. We're trying to send out a mailing, but we don't have a bulk mail permit this year. So next year we're gonna get one. At the end of this year, we're gonna get a mailing permits because stamps have gone up. So if we mail out the brochure, and a letter, first class letter nowadays is 60 cents.
Yep.
So we got 400 members.
Yes.
Well, at least on our roster. So if we, that's money to send all those people a letter through the U.S. mail today.
Right.
Until we get a bulk mail permit. But we want them all to know of our activities and we want them all to come.
Yes.
That's going to cost us money to even do that. So if somebody want to help contribute or buy some stamps so I could, spend on as many of these as I can.
So 60 cents per 400, what's that? 6, 12, 18, $240. So
$240.
And that's just for 400 people. We actually have about 450 members on our membership. So that's what I want individuals to understand, just for us to mail out the Garvey Day promotion or some information about the organization. It's $240, to get it to our entire membership, just to promote within, through mail. Our parent body in New York, they've spent I want to say $500,000 over the years on radio promotion. But promotion, going through mainstream promotion is expensive.
It's costly.
The way we are supposed to promote as a grassroots organization is through our own individual circles. So when we have an event like Garvey Day, we produce the promotion as a group. So Baba James did that for us. Present that to the leadership, myself, as well as the executive body. Us as the executive body, we're supposed to distribute it, one, through our membership, and I'm pretty sure we've done that at this time. And then our membership, that's where it really goes, quote unquote, viral, is when each of our members spreads it through their social media. That would be 400 families, and friends, not 400 families, families and friends of 400 individuals sharing the same information is when we get the type of promotion that we need. So that's the strategy, that's the plan, that's what we discuss, but that's not what we execute. So Mama Mina, did you have anything else before we move to the next sister? Or I don't know if there's any other sisters.
I don't know if there's anybody else who wants to help me with our fundraiser. I mean, I'm gonna see this as a fundraiser. I can do it, but
Fundraiser for Garvey Day, the food stuff.
right, if possible.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna need you to lead it. Obviously, I'm gonna be busy with the Garvey Day coordination. But we have a little bit of funds. We could probably, I don't know. I don't want to say no high number, but I know we could probably do like $100 at least for support to get the food, some food at least.
Okay.
But
yeah. We do what we can. We'll do what we can.
Yeah, as always.
We'll do what we can.
All right.
Anybody want to help in that transaction? My brothers and sisters on the line.
Mm-hmm. In Atlanta, obviously, I'll make it easy on some of y'all.
Or in the Atlanta area.
Yes. Baba James, I hear you.
Yeah, I'll help with any of the physical stuff. I mean, a lot of us will already be there.
Yes.
So we can alternate as members to help out with the duties. I'll take out all the trash. I'll say that much.
Baba James. Baba James, we're gonna need you from a security standpoint. We had a meeting with the Shrine today. They will handle most of the security. We will be responsible for security of the DJ equipment and any our stuff and vendor stuff as well.
All right. Can we camp out Friday night?
Like Friday night into Saturday morning?
Yeah.
That seems feasible. I haven't discussed it. We're gonna do a final walkthrough Friday afternoon. We can, I gotta ask Olatunji. I need to bring it up to him before Friday. So let me
if he's willing to let us bring our stuff and set up so that we don't have to be setting up while other people are setting up.
Yeah.
I'll volunteer to stay the night and watch everything till the next day.
Okay. Let me run that by Olatunji this evening.
Okay, dope.
Thank you, Baba James.
Race first.
Race first. Were there any other sisters on the Zoom or conference line before we go to the brothers?
Greetings.
Greetings, Sister Mary.
Yeah.
Greetings, Sister Mary.
Yeah,
how you doing?
I'm sorry.
I said, greetings, Sister Mary. How you doing?
I'm good. I pray all is well with everyone. I enjoyed the forum today. It definitely, stimulates our minds. And there's facts to each one's opinion or what they like to share as a visionary.
Mm-hmm.
But I do believe that hopefully, within this organization, we, to generate new members, we reach out to our brothers, and particularly whether it's gang or non-gang related, that are pointing the gun at the wrong person, to maybe join as a member, because each one teach one. And if you've never been taught how to ride a tricycle, how can you ride a bike?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
So, and I do believe that, maybe we should establish a new underground railroad, because as a seventh generation here in the village where I live in America, there's a concerted effort to preserve African-American history. But I believe that it is an agenda to see how much we know, what we know, and what we have, because it's not really about preserving or giving longevity to the people, us as a people that are still here to tell the story.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And so, there's money and millions of dollars that are being allocated for preserving African-American cemeteries, African-American historical African-American churches, African-American historical African-American communities, but not the people. I believe that we do need to, prepare and organize. I believe that, as Brother Omar says, prepare for war in the time of peace, prepare for peace in the time of war. Because I'm here trying to protect me and my 101-year-old mother. And I never thought that I would have to be doing this. But I have to sleep with one eye open and both ears open.
Yes, ma'am.
So, with that said, peace. I love each and every one of you. Race first.
Thank you, Sister Mary. We love you as well. Race first. And yes, that's why I love the UNIA as well as the Collective Black People Movement. These were the first groups that I was able to come to, full of people like myself, where we were free to express ourselves. And that can be, trying to pick the right words. I want to say dangerous, but it can be difficult at times. But as we said in the beginning, as long as we're respectful, as long as we understand our goals, we may have different strategies, but we're still trying to achieve the same goal. So I always love to hear different perspectives and how people approach the solution for our people in this time. So thank you, Sister Mary. Okay, with that, I think that is all of our sisters. Were there any other sisters on the call before we move to the brothers? Sisters, last call for the sisters. All right. Let's go to our brothers. First brother, I want to bring in the Legal Defense Committee Coordinator, member number 165, Attorney Imhotep. Greetings, Attorney Imhotep.
Greetings, President John. Thank you. Two topics. One, when we were talking about lynching earlier, a very close high school friend called me and asked me if I had heard of Oscarville. And it was at the bottom of Lake Lanier. And so I looked it up and saw where in 1912, a white girl was supposedly raped, and everybody in Oscarville had to leave, get up and get out and go. And apparently that wasn't just Oscarville. It was everybody in the whole county, Forsyth County. And I'm doing the research now. I'd like to know if some other people who are from Georgia know the history of Forsyth County, whether there are any Black people living in Forsyth County or not. They called it, again, banishment. And this is, all over the country. They showed a YouTube, showed Arkansas, Missouri, the towns, counties are completely white. And that's the way they want it. They banished us. We had to get up.
Lord.
Yeah. They said, leave or you're dead. And so I'm just doing the research again here, thinking about Forsyth County, considering how close it is to Fulton County, the Metroplex here. And, maybe one night I need to know where I'm at. And apparently, that was one of the counties they said by when the sun go down, you don't need to be caught there. So that's one topic I'm doing the research on, Forsyth County here. And also the second point is at the Marcus Garvey Day celebration, will you be doing the government ID cards? Can we get one?
Brother John?
Sorry, Attorney Imhotep, I had to call the conference line back on. What was the question?
Yeah. For Marcus Garvey Day, will we be able to get our government ID cards?
I'm planning for it. That is the last thing that President Ross Marvin still has at the office. I've been hesitant to accept the responsibility of it, but I do understand the importance of being able to distribute those. I'm planning for it. I'm planning for it, Attorney Imhotep. We got a yeah, I'm planning for it.
Okay, thank you. Race first.
Race first. Thank you, Attorney Imhotep. All right, with that, I kind of want to, let me see. Well, Dr. Shams is always on the call early. I want to give him an opportunity. So we'll go to our next member, UNIA member 172 in New York, Dr. Shams.
Race first.
Race first, Dr. Shams.
Yeah, I hope we can go over some more lessons like we did today, of how we should work together, network together, so on and so forth, But keep in mind what we say during our pledge, that we sacrifice our life, spirit, body, everything, for the red, black, and green. But listen, that's how we have to fight. The war has to be fought on all fronts. There's no one particular one way right or one way wrong. We have to give it all we got. And education is primary, because when we going against the marshal that we're up against, we better know what we're doing. Peace and race first.
Thank you, Dr. Shams. Race first. You brought up a great point about our pledge. So, and I meant to touch on this when we started. So officially, the pledge to the red, black, and green flag: I commit my body, mind, and spirit to the protection, defense, and security of the red, black, and green. I dedicate my life to the redemption of Mother Africa and the liberation of her scattered Black children. This is where it kind of goes into what we were doing today. I accept for myself and my descendants the teachings of universal African nationalism, and I promise that our children will be instilled with the purpose and knowledge of themselves as African people, in order that the cause of our struggle will neither falter nor fail, to all Black people free and united through one God, one aim, one destiny. But tonight, fundamentals of universal African nationalism, and going over this history and making sure we know this history. How are we supposed to teach this to our children if we don't know it? So as Garveyites, as UNIA members, you know, the pledge to the red, black, and green, as well as the Declaration of Rights of the Negro Peoples of the World, fundamental, critical information that we must pass down to the next generation. So again, thank you, Dr. Shams. With that, we'll go to our next brother. Let me, I'm gonna jump over to the conference line, bring in UNI member 424, Baker, Louisiana, Brother Sean.
Greetings, Sam. I enjoyed the chat with y'all today. It was, kind of enlightening, very enlightening. The only thing I have to say is that, living here in Louisiana and President John over there in Atlanta, that Marcus Garvey, when you mention Marcus Garvey or some of them people, the youngsters over here have no idea. All they know is Martin Luther King, Malcolm X.
Right.
They don't know nobody like Langston Hughes or Ralph Butch or anybody like that. I was just surprised when I mentioned Marcus Garvey. They're like, who is that?
Well, we have to teach our children.
I mean, seriously, when we talk about critical race theory, that subject is not even going on here in Louisiana. It's not. It's not going on. You don't hear nothing. You could be here probably 50 years and will never hear nothing. You hear about it in other states, but it's not even talked about here. They don't know nothing here about what we talk about. So me as being a member, I try to, whoever I come in contact with, whether it be in the supermarket or in the dollar store or whatever, and the conversation comes up, I try to enlighten some of my people or those that look like me, and the only thing they'll say something like, well, I know it's a black man that invented the stoplight. Well, what was that black man's name? They don't know. They don't know. All they know is it's a black man, that somebody looked like them. They don't teach this stuff in school here. It's not even mentioned among the elders here. The only thing they say, well, you're talking about that black stuff. Well, who the hell is you then? If you ain't black or melanated, then who is you? Yeah. I feel like an alien right here because I got the red, black, and green tattooed on my arm and my left forearm. It's big as the sun. So when they look at me or I reach, to pass money, or even to receive something, I stick my left arm out. They look at that and you should see the looks on these people's face. Oh, that's Black Lives Matter. No. I said, no, it goes way beyond that.
Yes, sir. That's the flag.
It goes way beyond that.
It's the flag of the Universal Negro Improvement Association. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Right, but I just heard somebody in the background. I was in the store and, kind of whispered like, that's one of them troublemakers. I didn't even answer him because I didn't know exactly who it was. It was somebody behind me, so that's what they was, behind me.
And so you're a troublemaker because you talk about Black history. I try to do my part over here as to enlighten the people, but it's just like me being on the horses behind. You know how big that is. So, but I would encourage my other members, wherever you may be in this country, to try to enlighten the youngsters to what's going on around, because it's not being taught. They don't know nothing. Yes, sir. Because we dropped the ball. We dropped the ball, but we blaming the other people before us. Them people blame them people before them. Yes, sir. Everybody looking for somebody to do their job. Yes, sir. Greetings. Yes, sir. Yeah, I just be greetings to the family. Peace and blessings to all of y'all. Love you. Yes, sir. Okay, Mr. President.
Thank you, Brother Sean. And yes, all we can do is the best that we can do. It took me over 30 years, to understand Marcus Garvey and the red, black, and green and the UN, and even find out about the UNIA. So, it is up to us. We can't there's no point in crying over spilt milk, water under the bridge, whatever saying you want to say. What's has been done has been done. All we can do is handle our responsibilities today, plant the seeds for today, and hopefully, we'll have some fruit tomorrow for the next generation. But if we expect, I can blame, the people that didn't teach me for the rest of my life, or I can stop and teach the children of today, and hopefully they teach the children of tomorrow.
Right.
So that's what we try to focus on. That's what we're doing right now. This is a recorded meeting. When we finish these meetings, we, do a little bit of editing, then we post it on YouTube. So within a week, there will be a resource, that people can see that, there is an organization that's holding true to the 54 Declarations of Rights, that were announced in 1920. What that does or what that means to that individual, I don't know. But all we can do is, put it out there and make sure that at least it's there rather than it not being there, if you know what I'm saying.
I got one more thing I want to say, Mr. President. It is pertaining to you. Okay, I heard some months back that brother, what's his name, Malik Zul Shabazz was trying to get all the groups to sit down at the round table and discuss what should be done for our people. My question is to you is that what are we, the UNIA, as a whole, not the different chapters, as a whole, how are we trying to connect with other groups? Because we all have the same problem. What I'm getting at is the fact that a lot of us are Christians, Hebrew Israelites, Muslims, and etc. So we all got the same problem, but how are we going to connect? Because I remember hearing you say something about we got different strategies and something else you said, and that was kind of like got my attention. So to you, what is the game plan on trying to connect with other groups?
Great question. So there's two ways to answer that. One, from a parent body overall UNIA standpoint, that's out of my pay grade. That's above my, jurisdiction and authority. So what the parent body UNIA does to organize and unite with other groups, that's something that executive team will handle. One thing that I do know that has happened recently was there was a announcement of a partnership with the Ethiopian World Federation. That was the only thing that I heard from a parent body level as far as working with other groups recently. Now, as far as us here in Atlanta, this is completely under our jurisdiction through the Constitution. And as long as we don't go against the Constitution, we have the right and the authority and responsibility to do everything that we can to unite with our people. So what we are doing, we're doing that work. There are other organizations here. I can name a few: Moorish Temple, Nation of Islam, World African Diaspora Union, African ASCAC, the Association for the Study of Classical African Civilization, All African People's Revolutionary Party, Friends of the Congo. There's a community-based group, Community Movement Builders. I just spoke with the Shrine of the Black Madonna about trying to bring them on board. But we had a meeting last month. I think at the beginning, late last month in July with all of these groups, trying to make a documented proposal for, to work together. But what we will have to do, or what I think, what I see is, before we come up with any type of documentation, we're going to have to spend, in my mind, 12 to possibly 18 months of just coming together, meeting, and learning the differences in each of the organization's cultures, so that we're basically building a relationship and not being disrespectful. But That's one of the hidden things within organization and progress for us as a people is the development of solid relationships and the development of the character of the individuals that are representing each of these groups. So those two things, relationships and character, have to be developed, and that's something that we're working on doing collectively here in Atlanta. But it all starts with reaching out. I respect what Brother Malik is doing. He did not call me. He didn't, reach out to the UNIA in Atlanta, to my knowledge. So when he is ready to do that, we are here. But as far as what he's doing, I would have to say, at the stage that he's at, he doesn't feel that we are necessary. So that would be my response to what he's doing. And as I said earlier, that's what we're doing. So I don't know if that answers your question or anything, but that's what we're doing.
Can I say something?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Sean. Go ahead, Mama Mina.
Brother John, back in the day, after the Black Power movement, well, during the Black Power movement, we had what they call the Black Congress, and it was all the Black, this is in Los Angeles, California. The Black organizations in LA, we got together right there at the Black Congress, and they had a newsletter that went out to talk about each organization and the events that they had individually planned and collectively planned as a Black Congress. Maybe something like that could happen here.
That's
Just speaking.
That's similar idea to what we've discussed. As of right now, as I said, it's we're coming together to share the events that each organization is doing so that we can support each other. But as our President General said, we can't expect the withdrawal until we make a deposit. So we can't ask any of the organizations for anything if we're not doing anything to support them. So we're just trying.
And not only, they even had a weekend Black Power conference in New Jersey. And we traveled all the way out of LA coming into New Jersey to attend that Black Power conference. So something for sure can happen, even if we develop a Black Power conference down here and invite people down here, something.
Excellent idea. I think, we've got, High Executive Council in April.
Right,
here.
we do.
So, hey, why don't we make that an opportunity to launch an official, Black Council of the South, even if it just has to be in the South. But we are the voice of the South, the face of the South. So we have to establish, the direction. We can't. I don't understand why we as leadership in the UNIA in Atlanta, we shouldn't be waiting for anybody
to do anything.
We should. I think everybody is waiting for us, and that's the way.
You're right. You're right.
So, in regards to why we haven't made progress as a people, our people are waiting for the legitimate, correct leadership to stand up and as Baba James always says, give orders. So, but yeah, we gotta do that. We have to, let them know who we are, what we're about, and that we are here to support, not necessarily dictate, but at least make the call for unity if nobody else is going to do it.
Exactly.
All right. Let me keep it moving. We got 9:30 or 7:38. I'm sorry. Next, brother, we got go to our UNIA head of African Legions, Baba James. Greetings, Baba James. Head of African Legions in Atlanta, not parent body. Baba James, you there? You on mute?
Race first.
Race first, Baba James. How you doing?
I'm good. Good, thanks. I'm thankful for the opportunity to speak. However, I'm very busy right now, still working on flyers and promotions for the event, and making sure that I can do everything I can on Saturday to represent Garvey. I would like to know if anybody's celebrating on his birthday, like the 17th, or somebody baking a cake, got some cupcakes or something. I can go over their house and eat.
Excellent question.
If not, me and Brother Kenwardo discussed maybe going over to Vegan Dreams over in the West End sometime after 5 o'clock and hanging out there for a minute to say happy birthday, Marcus Garvey, and have some pastries.
That sounds good, Baba James. If you and Brother Kenwardo are able to coordinate something, please share that with me. Garvey's birthday will be the 17th, which is on a Wednesday. Well, this coming Wednesday. So yeah, that would be nice for us to come together and commemorate not only the weekend and have a free event for the community, but actually commemorate the actual day of Garvey's birth. So
maybe we could let some red, black, and green balloons in the sky.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? Black out the sky for a night.
Yes, sir. I like it. You know where my focus is. So I'm a little, and I know you're busy as well. But if you and Brother Kenwardo are able to put something together, please let me know.
Will do. Race first, everybody. Peace through power.
Thank you, Baba James. Race first. Let's see who else we got. Go to our next Brother Art, Annandale, Virginia. Greetings, Brother Art.
Greetings, family. Yesterday I was in a meeting with the Division 330.
Yes, sir.
RC, and they had it's almost like a Congress. They had members from the Cobra Appeal, a couple of groups from Nigeria too, and they are planning a memorial site in either Ghana or Nigeria that they're going to build, and they're starting to work on it now. Even the president from the Philadelphia chapter and Brother Baye and Sister Tendai, they were all there, and they were all had made this plan. I was wondering if you had heard anything about it, Brother John.
Not at all. RC 2020 is a group that used to be with our UNIA, but they stepped away in 2020 due to some political disagreement. So no, we do not follow them directly. We don't follow them directly.
Oh, okay.
They're still family. They're still brothers. But yeah, there's some political disagreements. That's the best way I can put it.
Oh, okay. I know they had a brother from Chicago, brother from Philly, and like I said, Brother Baye. And this was a big plan that they had going on. I just thought you might have heard something about it. But that's all
I understand, and thank you for the update. Yeah, Senghor Baye, he will always be held in high regards for Division 421. He was President General at the time, and he helped. He was pivotal in the establishment of Division 421 in 2009. He's always. I look at him like a grandfather. I look at Ross Marvin like my organizational father, and I look at Senghor Baye as my organizational grandfather. So we love them. We support them within the confines of the UNIA Constitution.
Yeah, okay. Thanks.
Thank you, Brother Art. With that, I guess I should have went to this brother earlier. We have a distinguished guest in the building, President of Division 106 in Baltimore, President Everett. Greetings, President Everett. President Everett, you there? Are you on mute, President Everett? Oh man. All right.
My bad, brother John. I'm
Okay.
here.
All right. Greetings.
Yeah, I didn't have anything to share, anything. Just blessed to check out the meeting. I got it a little late, so let me know when you post it on YouTube because I love to share that with our members. The Declaration of Rights is very important history, and something that we need to keep in perspective and keep pushing. So that was pretty much it. Great meeting as usual. Thank you so much.
Thank you, President Everett. Yes, as we said, August 13th, so yesterday would be 102 years from the official reading of the Declaration of Rights of Negro Peoples of the World. So important that we keep it in context and we continue to educate our generations as to the importance of this document. And I'll see you, President Everett. I will see you in Detroit, still working on my travel arrangements and everything. So
sounds good.
Look forward to that. All right. That is President Everett. Brother Johnny. Go to Brother Johnny. Oh, Brother Johnny does not have a mic. He just got that's interesting. He's got a camera. All right, so let me jump back over to our conference line, and we just got a couple brothers on the conference line. We'll probably make it out of here about 8 o'clock. Next brother, I want to bring in CBPM member 2714, Brother Omar Mukhtar out of Cleveland, East Cleveland, Ohio. Greetings, Brother Omar.
Peace to the family. It's always a pleasure to talk to the family. As I always say, prepare for peace in a time of war, prepare for war in a time of peace. Peace, family, we are at war. And as we continue with this war, as we know, there was a raid on the compound of our brother, the rural movement. COINTELPRO made 3 strikes. They strike base in Florida, St. Louis, and I think California. I heard about the message that was given in the press conference that was called, which was good, that they called a press conference. Because when we don't call the press conference, the people don't know what COINTELPRO is doing to the people. They're not aware of all the attacks that are going on. The same people that attacked the rural movement was the same people that raided Grandmaster Jay's home. All the time we look at this and we think COINTELPRO do not exist. COINTELPRO definitely exists, COINTELPRO 2.0. So right now, COINTELPRO, along with the meeting that they had, there were several other organizations that was what they call unclassified or sealed documents of other organizations. When do you get indictments for organizations? I thought it was for people. So we have to understand that we are still in a war. And what is the war about? The war is about Russia and China. The United States are not informing the people that the real battle is between Russia and China and the United States. So anybody who says anything about Russia, the United States is going to come after.
Yes, sir.
So because of... Say again?
No, I was just agreeing. I'm sorry, brother. I'm be silent. I was agreeing with you.
Okay. So the African People Solidarity Socialist Movement Party, which is a black political party, which was attacked by COINTELPRO, a black political party, because they are a socialist party, which people don't understand that socialist party was connected to what they considered to be communists. But a military communist was not a bad word, especially when the United States and Russia were allies. I forget.
Yes, sir. It
was not a problem when China and America was allies. How quickly we forget. So now they are concerned about China and Russia training Africa. Right now, Russia has special forces training Africa. The reason Africa is under siege because they don't have their military strength in place. And as China and Russia continue to try to help Africa, the United States send the AFRICON, the African Union, to continue to destabilize Africa. So we have to understand that these operations, these propaganda wars that they're going on, is to continue to attack the Black nation, to continue to stop the rise of the Black nation. So we have to understand these are acts of war that are being perpetrated against us, and we have to learn how to stand in solidarity when they attack one of our Africans. Africans for the Africans, home and abroad.
Yes, sir.
So when they attack the Uru movement, we have to show support for our African brothers and sisters when they come under attack, either by letter, either by voice, either by text, either by support. But when the enemy see that we do not move with support of our people when they come under attack, then they try to say that the brothers and sisters was taking money from Russia, even though they can send $400 billion to Ukraine. Brother, we are at war. So we have to understand that these are tactics that they use it. They're using Donald Trump is also a tactic. They attack Donald Trump as well too. I know people don't like Donald Trump, but that is still part of the COINTELPRO operation to take down Donald Trump. The same thing, COINTELPRO, to take down the militia movement, the Black Panther movement, the Uru movement. These are things that the COINTELPRO, that the government continue to fight to stop the rise of a Black nation. One whole Black nation. They continue to attack the nation and all other groups. And now they talking about they got all these sealed indictments of organizations. So when do you start indicting organizations? We have to understand, ain't nothing happened with COINTELPRO. COINTELPRO is alive and well. Two more things quickly. Brother Malik Zulu Sabars, and people didn't see the operation down in Mississippi. All the brothers and all the various groups of militias and gun clubs and different things came in solidarity to set up sort of like the NATO. I'm just doing that because that might be first on people's mind. Not in a negative way, but to come together in solidarity, to sign an agreement that we will all stand together as one military structure. When you attack one, you attack all. When you attack one, you attack all. And that means that we will send in all our military support and resources on whatever issue in regard to one of our members, associates is attacked. So we're learning this. We're learning how to be effective in what we're doing in this struggle. Also, we have to understand that there's two trials coming up, one for Ozone. Ozone was a brother they accused of shooting the police in Florida. The one that they found down in Atlanta, Georgia, which they said was hiding in the treehouse. But let's not forget, these attacks on our brother was a violation of their First, Second, Fourth, and Sixth Amendment rights. This is still war, COINTELPRO all day, every day. They never sleep. So we have to understand that this is a continuation of to suppress the rise of the Black nation. What do they fear? What do they fear? Do they fear that the military brothers will get with the military brothers? Do they fear that the financial brothers will get the financial brothers? Do they fear the political sisters will get together with the political sisters? What do they fear? They fear when all that power comes together as a spiritual body to fight for one common objective. And we have to understand with all these objectives, they send agents into our various organizations. And I'm not going to call out the names of the organizations, but I'm going to tell you, the CIA, the FBI are always sending agents into our organizations.
And that's right.
My brother who had to confess that he married an FBI informant.
Huh.
I just dated her, married her. See, but if you don't understand that we have war, it can happen to any of us. We have to understand their overall objective is American interest. They never tell you what American interest is. The first American interest is to stop the rise of the black nation, to stop the rise of the words that came from Marcus Messiah Garvey, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Sojourner Truth, Harry Tubman, etc., Minister Farrakhan, Nisha Nissan, Khalid Muhammad. They feel all that force coming together to one massive people. So they will pick you off one at a time. So I've always say, prepare for peace in a time of war. Prepare for war in a time of peace. We have been blessed to set up a chapter in East Cleveland. We have our headquarters now, which someone bought a property so we can operate and pay $89,000 for $85,000 for the property. So we can set up an embassy as such, a community center, a street club, so we can communicate and educate our people on what's going on with our people all around the world, all around the nation, and the diaspora. As I always say, prepare for peace in a time of war, prepare for war in a time of peace. Peace, family. We are at war.
Thank you, Brother Omar. Brother Omar Mukhtar, CDPM member 2714 out of East Cleveland, Ohio. I think we've only got one more member. Well, we got two. Greetings.
Yes, Brother John. This is Brother Andrew, and two things to the power. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, Brother Andrew Garvey.
No, Andrew Campbell.
Oh, Andrew Campbell, sorry. Okay. Greetings, Brother Andrew. How you doing?
Good. You good? Yeah, I just wanted to raise this with the membership. I was in New York the other day and I visited the Marcus Garvey park, and I was speaking there with a brother there, one of the drummers, and he was telling me that there's no statue of Marcus Garvey in the Marcus Garvey park. I was taken aback by that. So I was wondering if this issue, if we could look into that issue of how to possibly get a statue of Marcus Garvey in the park that's named for him in New York City.
You asking me?
Yeah, I mean, how we could start it. I mean, you're not answering right now, but I call the community board and the Manhattan Borough president and or the park department so far, so that I started it, but I just wanted to raise the issue of the membership.
I understand. Yeah, that would be a parent body discussion. Our parent body is based out of New York, so the head of that would be their push. I'm not sure, other than supporting here in Atlanta, but that's out of our jurisdiction. Like, we don't have any political power. We can, send some funds if we had it, but as far as politically lobbying, the city council to use funds to create a statue for Marcus Garvey, that has to be done by the citizens of the city or state.
I just wanted to raise the issue, for awareness purposes and whatnot. So, yeah, because I really like to, pursue that effort as best I can.
I understand that would be something that we want to partner with the parent body, because they would be the boots on the ground coordinators for that effort, or whoever's in the city of New York would be the lead.
Okay. Well, all right. So would you be so kind as to email me the parent body information? Where you can contact with them?
It would be best if we joined one of the secretary's call second Wednesday of next month, and presenting it at that time. Second Wednesday of September would be the best opportunity. I think we just passed the second Wednesday. Yeah, last week was the second Wednesday of August. So second week of September would be the best time when we come together and we can present that to the parent body. Other than that, the primary focus is convention in Detroit. But there's a full agenda for that.
So what you're saying is the best way to contact or to speak on this issue is the second week of September. That would be the best time.
Second Wednesday of September.
Second Wednesday of September. Okay. All right, so it wouldn't make any sense to contact the parent body before that?
Not in my opinion, no. Like I said, the focus right now is convention. Coming out of convention, we will have some action items. First Wednesday is President's Call. So that's when the presidents come together and discuss, president issues from a division base. Second Wednesday is our Secretary's Call. And I think that would be the best opportunity to express this type of concern.
Okay. All right, sounds good then. I appreciate it. Y'all do that then. Second Wednesday, all right.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you, Brother John. I appreciate it. Thank you, Brother and President John, and the rest of the committee and membership. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Brother Andrew. I think we only got one other brother. Uncle Slum, if you might get a chance to Brother Andrew, to meet you around that little bit. UNIA member 317 here in Atlanta, Brother James. Greetings, Brother James.
Greetings, Brother John, Race First family. I chimed in on, I joined at the end of the call. I'm glad everybody's doing well. Everybody had a lot of good information being dispensed. Everybody touched on a lot of good points. And I definitely appreciate the discussion that was linked to educate my children properly. A few of the brothers brought up the critical race theory, and that's very important. And then right after that, the brother from Louisiana raised a good point about how these children don't know Marcus Garvey, how they know Martin, all these other people, but they're not familiar with Marcus Garvey. And then the brother after him alerted us. They talked about how we're at war. And all those tied into each other because, what we got to come to the realization is that our children really need a wartime type of education. You don't have to come from a certain type of perspective. And I wrote 2 children's books about Marcus Garvey for that very reason. Because, I have younger children of my own and nieces and nephews and, little cousins. And, I grew up them just like how I was when I was younger. They didn't know about Marcus Garvey. And actually, in June, I went to Africa and I took 150 copies of both of my books to a school in Arusha, Tanzania. And, these are black children, look just like our children, look just like us. They had no idea who Marcus Garvey was. So, I gave them the books, and I read to them. And, we had a discussion, and, y'all would be amazed at how fulfilling it is to them to have somebody communicate to them about a man like Garvey. And not even just about Garvey, but the contributions that Garvey made to African people and the vision that Garvey had for African people. And on this Wednesday, I heard somebody say, what are we doing to celebrate Marcus Garvey Day? Well, one way I'm celebrating Marcus Garvey Day is on Wednesday. I'm going to Chicago Elementary School. It's on the west side of Atlanta, right in the heart of it. and I'm taking 250 books and donating it to the third, fourth, and fifth graders in that school. And the reason that I'm bringing this up is because it's don't be actions like those that don't have to be taken. And there's a taken like that that are necessary for our children to receive the type of education that they need. Dr. Amos Wilson said that Black children must be educated to overthrow the world as it now exists. And if they have received that type of education, we're going to have to wrap our minds around financing that type of education.
That's right.
We're all aware of, the time and what it calls for, but we're going to have to wrap our mind around purchasing and financing and funding the type of education that our African children need. So I just wanted to, chime in and add that little tidbit. Please, family, make sure that we are constantly staying engaged with our youth and informing our youth about Mr. Garvey and what Mr. Garvey did and the vision that Mr. Garvey had, and translating it to the times that we're in now and what must be done. For anybody who is interested, you want to purchase a book or multiple books for your children, grandchildren, nieces, nephews, whoever, please visit my website, mrbookshelf.com. M like mama, R like Ruby, bookshelf.com. It's imperative that our children have content in front of them they can access, easily about figures like Marcus Garvey. So my two books that I wrote, by the way, are Teach Me About Garvey and Red, Black, and Green, Tell Me What It Means. These are two of the most necessary books that Black children must have. So I just wanted to drop that tidbit. I'm excited to see everybody at Garvey Day this weekend. I'm sure it's going to be an amazing event. And peace, family. Race first.
Race first. Brother James, two questions. One, will you be vending at Garvey Day this year?
Yes, I believe so. I need to touch bases with you so I can get that vendor fee to you. But yes, I will be vending.
Okay. We'll look forward to it. We'll figure that out. And second thing, you did send me some stuff about the Instagram. Has there been any progress on Division 421 having an Instagram page?
Yeah, I'm getting that done. I'm putting together some content. We hope to have the Instagram launch by this Thursday. Okay. Right before Garvey Day, and that way that'll be another means for people to interact with the UNIA and answer any questions, especially when it comes to joining and things like that, just to let people know what we got going on. And the Facebook is there, UNIA Atlanta Division 421, that's still active. Definitely feel free to stop by there, family, comment, anything you feel is needed, leave a message, you can send a direct message, and one of us get in contact with you.
Thank you, Brother Jane. Is there anything that you need from us, from the leadership or organization for the Instagram? Just the like the main logo that we use, and any pictures related to what we're doing, is always helpful. Instagram is more of a visual type of thing, so anything that depicts visually what we're doing will definitely be appreciated. Okay, thank you, Brother James. Yeah, I just wanted to put that out there so that the membership is aware and the leadership is aware. We talk about propaganda and promotions. There is some work tied to that. So we do a lot of work in the community, charitable events or cleanup, protection. But if we don't document it well, then we can't promote it. So there's double duty, triple duty, quadruple duty a lot of times. But just doing the event alone in today's day and time is not enough. We have to document it and we have to promote what we're doing. So that's just a call to all members and officers. We need to start documenting what we're doing. Baba James, I know you mentioned and this goes in line with what you were saying, what we had talked about. How do we promote what our members are doing on a regular basis? Because, you know, all of our members are doing things for the community, doing things on behalf of the UNIA. But where is the central location for that promotion? So we have a brother that's willing to help us with the work, but we have to help him as well. So we need to be documenting what we're doing, and we'll figure out a way to share that documentation. But the key thing at this point is collecting it. If we don't capture it, we lose it. So just a reminder to capture what we're doing and take a lot of pictures, obviously, at Garvey Day. So I didn't have anything else. Main focus is Marcus Garvey Day next week. I hope, you know, everyone comes out, enjoys the day, free for the community. We'll have vendors and entertainment. So yeah, that's our focus. And then, you know, we'll see what the focus is coming out of August and convention. Any other questions, comments in closing? Last call, questions, comments in closing.
Race first.
Race first, Dr. Shams.
Remember, we're doing what we're supposed to be doing, and it's all good that we're reaching out to other groups. Maybe we can invite like a representative member into our calls from each one of the groups that we're reaching out to, a representative member, not the whole organization, just one, maybe two members, and that's it, you know. But we must do as Noble Drew Ali told us in chapter 48 also. In chapter 48 of the Most Holy Quran mentions Marcus Mosiah Garvey also, our beloved brother. But Noble Drew Ali said that we must link ourselves with the family of nations. Remember what Marcus Garvey was able to do. He had a nurses call for us, Black Cross nurses for us. I understand he had his own Navy, his own Army, you know, but we have to. It's imperative that we do more than just reach out to groups. We must link ourselves with the family and nations. Peace and race first.
That's right.
Yes, sir. What chapter did you say that was in the Holy Quran? 48?
48.
Right.
Race first.
The last chapter, huh?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Peace.
Thank you, Dr. Shams. Any other closing questions, comments? 1 second, Brother Omar. Let me get the mic. Go ahead, Brother Omar.
Okay, peace to the family. Just want to remind everybody in the state of Ohio, we have set up our community private police academy, which is the all first Black police academy. You can go to communityprivatepolice.com, and you can also go to Community Private Police on YouTube or the website. Peace to the family.
Thank you, Brother Omar.
We're still trying to hire 100 people.
I understand.
In the state of Ohio. Peace to the family.
Yes, sir. Any other closing comments? All right. It's 13 minutes after 8. We will officially close out our UNIA-ACL Division 421 meeting for August 14th. If you would, you can come off mute and put the black fist in the air. Repeat after me. One God.
One God.
One aim.
One aim.
One destiny.
One destiny.
Africa.
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 For the Africans.
For the Africans.
The Africans.
Those at home.
Those at home.
And those abroad.
And those abroad.
Race first, family.
Race first. Race first.
Race first.
Race first.
Thanks, Brother John.
Thank you, Lady President. We'll see you Saturday. Well, are you coming to the? Well, we're supposed to have a final walkthrough on Friday afternoon.
Okay, so maybe so, but if you said you can give me $100, do you think we need to do this fundraiser?
I think we need funds.
I know it.
And fundraising seems to be the best way to raise funds. It's a
Well,
lot
we
of
can-
work. It's a lot of commitment. I don't want to put the work on you, Lady President. I would
Well,
rather have someone else step up and do it, but we do need to have it done. But you know, we're starving for volunteers.
we are starving for some volunteers.
You know, this race first.
You know what? Maybe we could do it an hour for a certain amount of hours, and that's it, or something.
And this is crazy. Like we should definitely be able, because this is not just I mean, it does require some volunteer effort, but this is something
Well, the
that
sorry thing about we had all the sisters we had, they're either dead or gone, or they've moved away somewhere. You know.
I
You
know,
know,
but what I'm
sisters-
trying to say is like this is something that the individual could eventually come away with some profit. You know, it's not a complete
Exactly.
100% volunteer, you know, give your sweat equity and you walk away with nothing. Like you could walk away with, you know, $100 or depending on how successful everything is.
Right.
But that's neither here nor there.
So I don't know if I don't do it, I don't know who's gonna do it, but I don't know why our other members don't see that we need to make some money doing something.
They you know.
And what I've decided to do, I got a little savings. I'll take a little of my savings out, put it in my account to buy some more stamps, to send the stuff out to these members. I don't know about 400 of them, but I'll send out some, you know, more than 20.
If you could, I know you said you already had some of them.
Yeah, I got, I got 100 of them printed up here, but I kind of staffed. I said, we're not gonna, send them out. No sense in doing it.
I understand. That is a expense. That's all I can say. And
But that's why I just said if we do a bulk mailing, get it for next year, maybe have monthly newsletters or something to go out, coming, some kind of race, what will we call it? Something.
Yeah. But yeah, Mama Mina, don't overstress yourself.
I'm not stressing. I can do all I can do.
Yeah, if we yeah.
Cause I'm getting on up there. Shoot, I'm getting up there. I ain't old, but I'm older for sure.
Yeah, I'm not. That's supposed to be elders for council and the young for war. Like we need young people.
We need to get some young people. Only thing I could think of, if we go in and speak with the Black Student Associations, 2 a month or something. So we get to school, all schools.
We gotta establish that. We gotta establish that connection.
Right.
From what we saw yesterday, the schools are starting back up.
Right. Right.
I think they were.
But I remember in LA at Kwanzaa time, I used to go out to every school in the city of Pasadena. That's where I lived. And I invited the kids out to our Kwanzaa celebrations. The whole, community hall filled up. But we talked with the children, with the youth.
Yes.
Of the junior colleges, the high schools, and the state colleges is right there. So
relationships, we got to establish the relationship and develop the relationship.
Without a doubt. So we could plan for it, have us sit down behind the desk and seriously plan, what we're going to do.
Why don't we look at the calendar for September?
Okay.
While they're, the students are still getting oriented, find out, even if we can't do it at that time, maybe next semester or next year, but when will be the right time to introduce ourselves?
To introduce ourselves for sure. So do you want to try for a 3-hour food sale or something? I don't know.
What do you mean, on Garvey Day?
On Garvey Day.
What do you mean 3-hour food sale?
I'm saying we sell something for 3 hours and that's it, soda, hot dog, and chips or something. I don't know.
Yes.
Permission to speak, Papa James.
Papa James, go ahead.
Buy some watermelons and slice them up.
Well, that's the idea.
Then once the watermelon slice is gone, they're gone. You know what I'm saying? Minimal cleanup.
True.
That's a good idea.
If we can find out somebody that's selling we can. I can't even say I can. I'll make some time I can to talk to one brother I know in East Point that comes up on watermelons, and I can talk to brother Ross Isis tonight. I mean, about some watermelons. But if we can find some place that we can, or somebody, if you notice somebody on the side of the road, ask them what we can get for $100, and could they bring them to the festival that day?
Yeah, it's a brother that sells some out here on Camden Road near Fairburn.
Yeah, well, let's talk to him and say, hey, come out to the event and sell them on our behalf, and we'll split the money with you.
Yeah,
that takes that takes everything off. And Mama Mina can just sit there with her red, black, and green flag on, cutting watermelon if she gonna do anything.
Yeah, that's better. And we always provide water, but we can look at soda cans or something like that as well. That wouldn't be too expensive.
Water's more than enough. That's all we need.
All right, cool. We got it.
All right.
Thank you, Baba James.
Thank you, Baba James.
For sure.
All right.
I'm glad he was on the line to add to our conversation.
Hey,
That's good.
me too. Me too. Because I'm telling you,
only thing we have to do is get a
it
big
would hurt
cup or
my
something
heart.
to
It would hurt my
keep the
heart to see
watermelons.
you out there, Mama Mina, working like that.
Yeah,
We gotta keep the
would.
watermelons closed some kind of way.
But they're not gonna last that long, Mama Mina.
Okay, if
Remember,
they gotta
we're
be
gonna
cold.
try to get that whole responsibility to the person that's in control of watermelons. So we invite him out there. He's selling them on our behalf. We probably split the money with him and we call it a day.
Yeah.
So we're gonna be selling the whole watermelon or slices of the watermelon?
I say slices.
Slices.
Okay.
I mean, if somebody wants to buy a whole watermelon, they can make that deal. It's all good. I'm sure we want is what we can get.
Right. I like that.
It's a watermelon. It's gonna go.
Well, I didn't have anything else. I know we all need to get some rest. We got a long week ahead of us. Big weekend this weekend. So.
Okay, we'll talk with you a little later in the week.
All right. Thank you.
Man, race first.
Race
All
first.
right, race first. Take care.